Hi Peaches, it's Shaaba. Welcome back to my channel and thank you for clicking on another video. It's Monday and you know what that means. It is time for us to go audition for a-holes. Why? Because it's a little bit of fun, it's a little bit of juicy drama. We can also hopefully help a couple people out whilst also expanding our own mindsets along the way. I have a question for you though, Peaches. Just a little bit of market research. I know we've had a couple of changes here on the channel. We've brought in the gorgeous podcast, which I'm absolutely loving doing with Jamie. We're doing a little bit more music stuff, a little bit more shorts, a lot of fun. We got some live streams with some gaming content because Shaaba can't make her mind up as to what she wants to share. We're just creative and always. My point being, I'm not here to overwhelm you. I'm not here to make changes that you are not happy with. I have a question. It's just some market research. It doesn't mean it's going to change. How important to you is it that these Am I the Drama episodes that we do together without Jamie, without the podcast, are on a Monday? Let me know, because I'm thinking if we switch them to Thursdays, we could increase how many podcasts we do and give you one more episode of Am I the Drama stuff every 2 weeks, if that makes sense. But I don't want to do it if it's going to upset you and you're like, no, the Am I the Dramas with Shaaba have to be every other Monday, not Thursdays. What are you talking about? So yeah, let me know. I'm not going to do anything right now. I just wanted to get your viewpoint on it. But without further ado, right now, let's dive deep into the drama. I'm excited for this one. I'm feeling a little bit spicy, but I don't know, I'm ready. Am I the Drama for announcing to my brother-in-law and his friends that my partner and I are gonna I didn't want to put the word there, so you know what I mean. Let's read. My partner and I brought a lovely house that's great for hosting get-togethers. Most of the time we invite friends and family, mainly friends now. Earlier this week, my brother-in-law asked if we could host a get-together at our place since a friend is visiting the state, and he wanted to give this friend a house tour. I'm a little bit confused. Wait, so you and your partner bought a house, but your partner's brother wants to give his friend a house tour of your house? Okay, either two things are happening here in my mind. Either number one, brother-in-law has like passed off to friends that this is his house, right? He's like, nope, my house. I want to do a tour because I really like house, blah, blah, blah. Or number two, your house is like super fancy compared to your friends and he's just like, no, this is like the best place to just hang out and chill out and I really want to be there. I'm intrigued. Let's read on. Just a disclaimer, says OP. I really dislike having my brother-in-law over because he doesn't respect boundaries. We ask guests not to go into our bedroom and my office, but he goes in both because he was looking for our cats or he wanted to check the place out. The man is 11 years older than us. I'm getting the vibe that either in some way it's one of those two things. He's either, passing on that that's the case, or he genuinely, is very proud of you guys, but, wants to be in that position. So he's trying to live vicariously through you. I have had a couple of people, I don't really think age has anything to do with it. Sometimes it actually makes sense that that person is older. Sometimes I have had older people be like, oh, I'm so proud of what you've been able to achieve and I really like this, and they sort of make that aspect their own. So in terms of my music or something, feeling like they have a right to tell me exactly what to do. Or in terms of something that I buy, being like, oh yeah, and then I can have that, and I'm like, Sharing is caring, absolutely, but understanding boundaries of ownerships and knowing when you're overstepping the line, I think is also really important. I would be very mad if somebody went into my bedroom even though I told them not to, or into my office even though I told them not to. That is not okay. Let's read on. My partner and I barely had time for each other due to our busy work schedules, and this weekend, says OP, we were looking forward to some us time. Oh, I'm not doing that because us time doesn't always have to mean hanky panky, but I'm guessing because it's bunnies, that's what they're implying, especially based on the title. Let's move. My partner said he didn't really want people over, and I said the same. My partner texted back to say, sorry, we can't, we're busy this weekend. Brother-in-law kept pushing and calling, asking why we couldn't make time, and he claims that it's only going to be a few hours and that this friend rarely visits the state that we're in. Is this friend also your friend? I'm finding it so weird, just even on the basic level, that brother-in-law is like, hey, I have a friend coming over and I want them to see your house. That's just bananas. He kept asking what we were doing and why we were busy. Saturday evening, we're relaxing, we're playing video games in the living room. I love this vibe. Isn't that, that sounds like a great Saturday plan. Brother-in-law calls my partner and says that they are outside dropping by really quick. Sure. This is ludicrous. The audacity, Peaches. My partner says that we're busy. Brother-in-law argues, saying that he can see us from the window and just playing games. Oh no. More arguing. My partner hangs up and aggressive knocking follows. Get the hint, dude. Also, if he's doing this because he wants these people... okay, this to me knocks the idea out that he's doing it to try and make it seem like it's his property, because there must be other people, the friends that he's talking about are outside with him right now, and seeing him being like, well, I can see in the window, come hang out with me. Social cues, babe. Social cues. I also just want to point out that busy looks different for everyone. And I really mean that. I'm a strong believer and a strong activist in sharing the message that doing nothing is doing something. And I think, especially in today's world, when we are so busy, we are consuming so much information all of the time. Our personal life, our work life, our social lives, our well-being. There is so much to do. It's always too much. It's really important to schedule nothing. And if we don't schedule nothing, people are like, oh, you're not doing anything, then you're never gonna not do anything. And not doing anything is actually really important something. Do you get me? I hope that wasn't too confusing. I know what I mean. If you're playing video games, that is you busy. If that's what you want to be doing, that's what you want to be doing. Nobody has a right to say to you that you're not busy just because you're not doing what they constitute as busy. I could be taking a nap and that's me busy, babe. Go away. We go and open the door, says Opie, and there were 7 other people with him. All 7 visiting from this state. Really? They had alcohol and snacks. Oh, just a couple of hours. This is a common issue between brother-in-law and us, and I'm just fed up with this. I can understand why. This is extreme. I don't think I've ever seen behaviour this entitled from a family member wanting to use your house. I kind of just asked what they were doing here and that we can't hang out tonight because we had plans to relax. Went on a tangent about our busy weeks whilst they stood out in the cold. I ended the conversation with, we plan to have tonight. Ooh. And I don't want people around while we're at it. You know what? Whatever you were doing, you could be making cookies. You could be making macaroni necklaces. It's your house. Just live in it. We already told brother-in-law that we were busy. He wants details. I gave him details. All night. Good night. Stay warm. Blum blum. Well, brother-in-law talked to father-in-law, and now I'm getting calls and texts on how crude and rude I am, and that I have no decency. Oh, but it's okay for brother-in-law to use your house at any time of the day, regardless of what your plans are. My partner doesn't care how I handled it and understands that I'm sick and tired of brother-in-law. Am I the drama? No, babe. You're not the drama. You and your partner are not the drama. Your brother-in-law's massive drama. The audacity. I still don't understand it. It's still blowing my mind. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. I don't know what else to say. I can't imagine that anybody here would think you were the drama, and if they did, they are not the kind of people that I would want to be around. People that don't understand the need for intimate relationship time, whatever it is that you might be doing. People who think that they can come to your house. That's the most bizarre point. The fact that he travelled there with friends, bringing things, like expecting to stay for a while, after you repeatedly and consistently said no so many times. Anybody who thinks that that is appropriate behaviour is somebody who doesn't understand boundaries, who doesn't respect space, and who doesn't respect communication. And that is big, big, big red flag for me. Not the drama. Brother-in-law, take a hint. We want to be alone. Brother-in-law doesn't take a hint. Obviously, you have to spell it out. He's 11 years older and he still complains to his daddy that you said the sex word. Whoa. I can't defend. Yeah, there's nothing more to say, really. And who the F thinks that it's okay to show your friends around someone else's house? It sounds like brother-in-law has lost his marbles. Unless he thinks that they're like joint friends or whatever. But even so, you said no so many times. Like, get over it, dude. Find somewhere else. Even if you think it's a nice place to host, like, you might have your own place. There are public places. There are gorgeous parks. You know, there are wonderful restaurants. There are hotel lobbies. There are so many places where you could just grab a little drink and do your own thing and not bother other people trying to have some downtime. Whatever it is that they might be doing in that downtime. Not the drama. Showing up to someone's doorstep expecting to be hosted when you've repeatedly been told no is worse than what you did. Next time, and there will be a next time, don't even open the door. Oh, I mean, I agree with this. If you're trying to enforce boundaries, because brother-in-law clearly is not understanding them, I also agree that it's very highly likely that there would be a next time, and I do think it'd be a good idea to not open the door. This is where things like ring cams come in handy, because then you can be like, hello, sorry, we're not appropriate. I don't want you to come. No, go away. There's a line to me. This kind of reminds me of Asia. I want to digress ever so slightly. In Asian land, the culture that I grew up in, I'm sure other cultures do it too. I just see it a lot in my culture, and it seems to be a stark contrast to the Western culture that I was raised in and interact with other people. There's a big open door policy. There is an idea that if you need something, you go to that person's place and you get that something. If you want to hang out, if you want to have dinner, if you need a place to stay, like whatever it is, you don't ask, you just go. In fact, there are many members of my family who would find it really insulting if you called ahead to be like, hey, can I do this? I'd be like, why are you asking me? Come, just come. Not that it's like a rude thing to check that they're busy. Do you know what I mean? Like if I called someone, I'm thinking of like a specific auntie that I have, and I was like, hey, hey auntie, are you free next week, all week? And she was like, yeah, I don't have any big plans. Why? If I then said, because I would like to stay over, can I? Then they would be offended. I would have to say, great, because I need somewhere to stay, I'm going to come and stay. That's how it would not be offensive. Do you know what I mean? Like, even with my mum, I could imagine if I called her and was just like, hey ma, are you free? I'd really love to have dinner with you. She could be like, yeah, I'm free. If I then went, are you absolutely sure you don't mind me coming? There would be a level of offense taken to me checking if she was sure. That's like how strong it is with Asian culture. And it is very different to Western culture. I've seen them even like intermix sometimes, where some of my Asian family are like, they didn't like the fact that I just rocked up and delivered something. Like I was just delivering something. And I have to say, yeah, but not all people like the fact that you just show up at the door. Sometimes you have to call ahead. Like these people prefer it if you call ahead, and they're like, but why? We're family. So my point is, maybe brother-in-law, like maybe if there's a cultural element involved, brother-in-law has like that kind of mindset. But the fact that it has been repeatedly said to you, no, makes a big difference, in my opinion. All right, shall we continue with another one? Am I the drama for not fighting the school since my daughter got a 0 and a big assignment because she didn't turn it in while she was sick? Oh, okay, that last word makes a big difference to me, and I'm intrigued. I am intrigued. My daughter is 16. This is important. What year are you in when you are 16? I don't know the answer to this. Oh, wait, no, I do. You're in college. You are in college. The UK, you're in college. Know that college is actually university in America, so you're not in that kind of college. You're not in uni college, you're in college. That made sense to me. And why is that important to establish? Because from college in the UK, when you are 16, your parents are no longer involved in your education. You don't have to go. It is voluntary, and you are the person that voluntarily does it. That is still the case, right? Is college mandatory? UK. Yeah, I thought something changed. So this has changed. Based on English law now, once you finish school, you can then do one of the following between 16 until you're 18, staying in full-time education like college, or starting an apprenticeship, or spending 20 hours or more a week working or volunteering whilst in part-time education or in training. Interesting. That has changed. It used to be that like 16, that's it, you're done. But regardless, the point is at the age of 16, parents aren't involved in that anymore. If you're at college, they only liaise with you. So with that context in mind, let's see. My daughter's 16, and with modern tech, everything is turned in online. Her teacher, Mr. Cat. Wait, is he actually called Mr. Cat? Because that's a great name. Anyway, Mr. Cat is a strict teacher. He's probably the best teacher at the school, even though his classes are considered difficult. I am trying so hard to not include cat puns. We're not going to do it. We're not going to do it, Peaches. We're better than this. She's also 16, and so she is responsible for her work. I'm such a child. My daughter has had a big paper assigned for at least 2 months. This assignment gets turned in online, and he made it very clear, Mr. Cat, that not turning it in will result in a 0. Stop it. There's so many opportunities. Don't do this. He told everyone, and I saw the emails, that the only exception would be if you are in the hospital or if you have no internet. Okay. The no internet thing is kind of a big loophole for Mr. Cat, right? Like, I understand the hospital thing. Like, normally they're like, you need to give me a doctor's note, because you can be really ill and not be in hospital, so that's a little bit weird. But also the no internet thing, you can be like, I was out partying, I didn't have internet. I was on holiday, I didn't have internet. That's a weird rule to me, but whatever. He also said that he'll give time in class, so there really is no excuse to not turn it in. Okay, so basically, if OP's daughter here has not started the work, what I'm establishing is this is her fault. I agree with him, says OP, since he's made it super clear that there is a hard deadline, and I've experienced hard deadlines a lot in life. Sometimes you just need to turn stuff in on time or deal with the consequences. I mean, yeah. Like, I get what OP is saying, but there's always an exception to the rule. There is. Like, people are human. It doesn't mean that you're entitled for excuse to be accepted, but you should never feel like you can't be vulnerable in sharing why you weren't able to hit something if there was a valid reason for not hitting something. So, I don't know. Let's read on. My daughter last Friday wasn't feeling very well and asked to stay home. I agreed, and I reminded her that she still needed to turn anything in since she's missing school. We have good internet, and she has her school laptop. Well, she didn't turn it in, and she got a 0 for the assignment. This has dropped her a letter grade A to a grade B. B. We then got into an argument when I wouldn't fight with the teacher to let her turn it in. I told her that she forgot and she needs to live with the consequences. That this is a good learning opportunity since it's just a letter grade, and not forgetting to turn something in college would result in her failing the class or her losing her job for not hitting a deadline. She now thinks that I'm a huge jerk and I would like some more opinions. So am I the drama for not fighting the school? Ooh, this is a tricky one. I totally see what you're saying, OP. I totally see, yes, you need to learn consequences, and consequences, if you don't turn it in, you don't turn it in. There was a deadline, you missed a deadline. You could have hit the deadline, but you were ill. I get it, you could have done it earlier. This you could have done it earlier thing does bug me though. Like, if I'm being given 2 months as a deadline, especially with my ADHD brain, it's a well-known fact that I have only recently known, so maybe it's not that well known. My point is, it's a fact that certain brains, particularly neurodivergent people, work differently and time manage very differently. And it's very common for people who are neurodivergent, I'm not saying that OP's kid is neurodivergent, I'm just saying neurodivergent people work towards deadlines, not towards that time. I'm pretty sure there's also like just a general law, like a rule of humanity, a rule of human behavior that says that this is typically how we work. If there is a deadline, you're more likely to do something here than here. You can give me a year to do something, you can give me a month to do something. If it only is going to take me a day, I'm likely going to be doing it in the days up to it, not before. That's just how we manage our time. Am I saying it's right? No. But am I saying that if you then become ill, if you've done the assignment, there's a difference. If you've done the assignment, you didn't turn it in because it was like a logistic thing, or you're like mostly done, like you were managing your time properly and you weren't cramming it all in on the last day, I don't see how that's your fault. You know, things happen in life, even when you're at university, even when you have a job. If something happens and you miss a big ass exam, you can have extenuating circumstances, even in college, even at university, even at work. If you have a massive tribunal at court and you couldn't make it for a reason that was totally justified and you have evidence of that, you have evidence of it, and there are extenuating circumstances. That's why that exists, right? So I don't know, I kind of feel like maybe mum's being a little bit harsh. The one thing that I would say is, this is your job. You are the student, you knew the rules, you sadly missed it, so you should be the one to contact them. Why am I being the one that has to contact them? If what's happened is the daughter has and they haven't said anything, I don't really understand how mum trying to say something would create a different set of circumstances. And if it does, I'm in two minds, because does it show that if you don't help then that you're not going to be there for your kid to try when things go wrong? Or is it a sign of adulthood to be like, well, you know what, you're an adult now, you need to do this stuff yourself, and if you can't do it, there are other options. And also, a grade doesn't define you. Like, there are different parenting lessons and I can see how both can be valuable. The biggest question in my mind right now is, how much of the assignment did your child do? Because if most of it was done and it was literally just like, I didn't click the button because I was really unwell, I did forget because I was really ill, I get it. And if she has gone to the school should then give extenuating circumstances. Or even if it's not enough to give the grade, what I would still be doing is like, well, I did the assignment, can you grade what I did anyway? And it can be a formative grade, because that feedback process of getting the feedback back is really important. You're right, grades don't define you. It really doesn't matter if you get an A or a D, but have you learnt from the exercise? Have you developed those transferable skills? Those are the important things that you won't know unless you get that feedback. So it would be a huge arsewad move, in my opinion, if Mr. Cat didn't even look at the assignment, even if it wasn't giving you a formal grade. I need to find out some more information about this. Let's see. Did she not complete the assignment, feign being sick for Friday in hopes to catch up and then finish it by Monday? It's completed, says OP. I saw it, she just didn't turn it in. Better that she learns the lesson now before it costs her money, or she has to retake stuff she just forgot. In which case, I do think maybe you're being a little bit harsh. Is it harsh enough to make you the drama? I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no drama here. OP, you are well within your right to parent, and there's so many different lessons that could have been taken from this. I see the lesson that you're trying to give, which is there was a deadline, you missed it. I hope within this you are encouraging your daughter to see if she can get that extenuating circumstance herself, and if that the feedback can still be given. And I think if the Mr. Cat then turned around and was just like, well, where is your evidence that you're ill? Then you can be like, my mum can vouch for me, and the mum can then call, email, provide a statement of some kind to be like, yes, she was genuinely ill, I did see her assignment, it was there. That's different. But yeah, I don't would I? I don't know if I would have done the same. I don't think one is a-holy and one is not. I think you're well within your rights to do what you want to do here. Oh my god, why am I feeling weird about this one? Do you agree? Let's see. Have her turn it in and say something like, I know it's late and I won't get credit for it, but I want to show you that I did complete the work and I'm sorry for missing the deadline. Exactly this. Acknowledges responsibility and the teacher will see the effort that she put forth and then the teacher can decide. And I'm telling you, if she's really unwell and she did the assignment, 9 times out of 10, teachers will be nice and be like, I get it. Happens in the world, babe. What are you going to do? That's the real lesson, right? Wow, you are a rare specimen, parent. A parent who allows their kids to face consequences for their actions or inactions. Way to go. I'm not being sarcastic. So this is someone who supports OP. Going against the grain here and giving you a light you are the drama. After reading your comments, the assignment was completed. She only needed to turn it in. She forgot it's something unusual for her. Even if you don't contact the teacher, your attitude towards her could have been better. I do agree with that last point a little bit. Her attitude could have been better to be like, hey, I'm really sorry. However, there is a lesson here, which is you need to do things for yourself. I'm going to be here if you do need that support and that support is requested and I can actually help in some way. But you know what? A grade doesn't define you and you don't need to worry this much. That's a lesson in itself. That's where my head is stuck. And I can't tell if that's a good thing or not. Oh. I guarantee almost any uni professor would make an exception for a sick student. I've had the situation happen to me whilst I attended university and I had exceptions made, says one commenter. What you're showing is that you don't have your daughter's back when she's ill. You're showing her that she shouldn't take care of herself when she's ill and she should push through illness. If she works for a company that gave sick days, she shouldn't use them because some teacher can't be kind to a sick student. Oh, I do kind of get what they're saying here in the sense that we shouldn't be, compromising our own health for work. I totally see that point, but I don't think that's what's happening here. She literally just forgot to upload it. And I think if you are capable of uploading something, unless you were like so ill that you couldn't, that is the exception. You did the work. I disagree with this comment because I don't think what you're showing is that you don't have her back. I think what you're showing is, hey, you need to fight your own battles now, right? Like, you've got this. I can give you some advice. I can support you if it's required, but you need to do this. You need to make your decisions. You need to have your discussions with Mr. Cat. Stop it. No puns. And whatever the result, you know that you did the work and your achievements and sense of achievement should be based on you and not based on some arbitrary number or letter that you are being given. I see it from both sides. I'm going to stick with no drama here though. That is my badge. Oh, do you agree, Peaches? Let me know. I'm so intrigued about this one. I'm so intrigued. All right. Am I the drama for giving away my daughter's friend's last chicken tender? Not the last chicken tender. Blasphemy. Blasphemous. My husband, who's 41, and I, 40, have 5 daughters. Avery, 13, Bella, 7, Cassie, 6, Daria, 4, and Emily, 1.5. There's so many names. Oh my goodness. Wait, so you have 5 daughters aged 13 to 1.5. Okay, I think that's what we need to take from that. The 3 middle girls are good friends with an autistic girl, Jenny, who's 6, same age as Cassie, who regularly comes over to play with them. We've also included Jenny in plenty of family outings, ranging from the beach to bowling to amusement parks. Jenny's mum has done the same for my girls, only she takes them with her one at a time, as she is also autistic and not used to caring for multiple children, since Jenny is an only child. This is all sounding very healthy and very cute and very fine. Also, not at all judging Jenny, Jenny's mum, even if she didn't have autism. Taking care of 6 kids is a lot, especially if you are not used to it. I don't think if I was a parent of 5, I would ever expect one parent to take all 5 of my kids, especially at those varying ages, when I only have a 6-year-old. Just putting that out there. Let's read on. We had Jenny over for a sleepover this weekend and took her out for lunch. Jenny and Daria ordered the same meal, chicken tenders and french fries. This is making me hungry. And I noticed that Daria finished her chicken before eating her fries, and Jenny ate all but one before moving on to her fries. Wait, who is Daria? Daria is 4. Okay, and Jenny is the 6-year-old friend. Okay, so Daria ate all of her chicken and then ate her fries. Jenny ate all but one. I don't know why I'm analysing chicken tenders so much. I'm invested in the chicken tender. Okay, so Jenny's got the chicken tender. There's one remaining and it belongs to Jenny. Okay, about halfway through the meal, Avery has to go to the bathroom and offered to take the younger kids with her if they needed to go. Bella, Cassie, Daria, and Jenny went to the bathroom with Avery, whilst my husband and I stayed at the table with Emily. Emily being the 1.5-year-old. We got this. While the other girls were gone, I saw Jenny still hadn't eaten her last chicken tender, and assuming she wasn't gonna eat it, gave it to Emily, who ate a little more than half of it before her sisters and Jenny returned. After sitting down, Jenny noticed that her chicken was gone and asked what happened to it. I told her, well, you weren't eating it, so Emily ate it. Interesting, Mum didn't say, well, you weren't eating it, so I gave it to Emily. It was, so she ate it. You're literally putting the blame on a 1.5-year-old baby. She said she was saving it for last and looked like she was about to have a meltdown, which I still have yet to deal with in public. You're telling me that you have a 13-year-old and 5 daughters spanning 1.5 to 13 and you've never had a meltdown in public? Oh, wait. Or are you saying that you're yet to deal with a meltdown from Jenny, who has autism, and that's something that you haven't been able to deal with? I have thoughts and questions if it's that second one. I mean, you are taking responsibility of a child, and if a child ends up having, insecurities that result in a public spectacle for whatever reason, whether it be something super trivial, something super legitimate, you have care of this child. You have a duty of care. You have to deal with that, number one. But also, I'm trying to think, like, would any child at the age of 6 who said, I was saving this piece of chicken for last, whether they have autism or not, I would expect some sort of like, I went out with a baby recently. We had like a little cute friends lunch thing, and there was an adorable, amazing, lovely baby there. And his food was taken away by the waiter before he'd finished, and he didn't notice. And then he came back and he was like, where's my pasta? And the parents were like, well, we got rid of the pasta. And he was like, and I could tell that he was so upset. And I was like, oh no, we need to fix this. And then the parents asked the waiters, and the waiters were like, I'm so sorry. Let me get you a whole new tub of little food, which happened. I'm digressing again. The point is, I don't think you have to be autistic to be upset that the food that you are saving has been given to someone else. Do you know what I mean? Having said that, I do appreciate that having autism may evoke a different reaction, but autistic or not, OP, you got to deal with it. That's my thinking. Let's move. Let's read on. Let's see. OP says, so I took the little piece of chicken that Emily didn't eat and I gave it back to her, but she refused to eat it because it had baby germs on it. I mean, it's also not a full chicken tender. I would be annoyed. I don't have autism. I'm a grown-ass woman, and if I had kept my favourite piece of chicken to one side and you're telling me you got a baby to nibble on it and you gave me the tiny little... I'd be mad. I would be mad. Give me my chicken. When Jenny's mum came to pick her up later that day, she told her mother about it. Oh, Jenny was mad. Her mum called me inconsiderate and said that I should have waited for her to return and asked her before giving it away, and told me that often she saves certain foods for last too. Must be an autistic thing. Maybe it is an autistic thing. I don't know about it, but I just thought that was a common person thing. Like, I save food last. I'm not autistic. I know so many people who save their food to last. Like, I just think it's more ludicrous to just take food from someone else's plate without speaking to them about it and give it to someone else, baby or not. Did Opie apologize? My husband and I talked about this, and he says that he agrees with Jenny's mum's point about asking her first. I think she overreacted, and the kids haven't brought it up. Now that the weekend's over, my husband suggested that I take it to a forum for an unbiased opinion, so here I am. Yeah, Opie, you're the drama, and here is why. You don't take someone else's chicken tender and give it away without them asking. You don't take someone's anything and give it away. We've just been talking about lessons that we can learn from parenting, and what does this say? This says, hey, if you leave something unattended, if you're not watching it, it's not yours anymore. I don't respect the fact that something belongs to you. If you go away to fulfill a bodily need like going to pee, I'm going to give away your stuff. What are you teaching that child? Especially if they then say, I was saving that. If your response was anything other than, I'm so sorry, let me go and get you another chicken tender, I didn't realise, my bad. If you'd done that and you were like, my bad, I really didn't know, that's a good distinction to make. I don't think that OP is a drama here for thinking, oh, Emily wants it. And like she clearly misunderstood and thought that Jenny didn't want it. And if Jenny didn't want it, it's okay to give it away. But you're the drama for not checking. Dude, you're the drama for not checking. You don't give things away that don't belong to you. And if you're not sure, you ask. And to say that it's an overreaction, I think is not fair, because I think what Jenny's mum was doing was just letting you know that, hey, I think it was a little bit inconsiderate that you did that. I do it too. Don't do that to my child because my child is clearly unhappy. Do you know what I mean? She was unhappy because she told the mum about it. It was playing on Jenny's mind. So, yeah, I also just think it's weird to be blaming it on the autism thing and be like, oh, well, it must be because mum's autistic too. Anyone who tries to save food for last must have brains that are wired differently to mine. It does come across as a little bit condescending. I don't know why, but it just doesn't sit well. Do you know what I mean? What do other people have to say? You are the drama. Not only did you give someone's food away, you also attributed her saving food to her autism. As someone not on the spectrum, I save bites of food for last because they look the best, and I save the best bite for last. Do better. So do I, said someone else. I actually dissect food like a stone toddler to ensure that I can eat bits in order from least to most appetizing, and I'm not autistic. I was going to say, I don't think I can relate to this, but I totally can. We had chicken nuggets recently, and I am the person who peels the nuggets away from the insides, and then I eat the thing with the dip, and then I eat some on their own, and then I save the crispiest bit of the batter for last, and then I go, whoop, with no sauce. That is the only way to correctly eat a nugget. I will die on this hill. When I get a cheeseburger, says someone, I open it and I look to see where the pickle is, and I'll eat everything around the pickle, saving the pickle for the last bite, and I'm not autistic either. I love the fact that this thread has just turned into people talking about their different food habits. That's not the point though. I love it. I like to see it. The point being, food or not, autistic or not, don't give away things that don't belong to you. And then don't say that someone's overreacting because you've given away something that doesn't belong to you when they wanted it. You are the drama. The age doesn't matter here. The friend having autism doesn't matter here. The only thing that matters here is that you took food from someone and you gave it away. All this. But anyway, this is a small thing. I do think the autism here matters to a tiny extent in the aftermath, being how somebody handles that can vary depending on whether they are neurodiverse or not. But either way, you should be treating them with the same level of respect, and it doesn't stop the fact that in the first place you shouldn't give away stuff that doesn't belong to you. It's not your chicken tender, leave it alone. Alright, my loves, we have one more. I might have to make it quick because now I want chicken tenders. Am I the drama for not leaving to go with my army husband? Ooh. Long story short, I got inherited a house on native lands here in Hawaii, where I am half native. My husband hates the politics of this state and wants to move to Texas, using the military to help him go there. He was born and raised here in Hawaii. My house is paid off and I can't rent it out since it's supposed to be for natives only. Ooh, that's interesting. I've never heard of that before. That's really cool that they do that though. There's like that way of preserving culture. My question is, are you able to rent it out to other people who are also native then in some way? And I like the fact that even though you're only half native, the words that you've put in the post, you are still able to have it. I'm glad that it's not like some purebred kind of thing where like, no, you must be 100% with these genes in order to be worthy of this piece of real estate. It seems to be more like we're just trying to keep it here and not invite a lot of tourisms around. You know, if I'm not very good, I don't understand Hawaiian politics at all. If I've understood that correctly in the way that I'm intending it to be applied, that sounds sweet. My husband keeps convincing me of the pros, like BAH. Is that the army? BAH will pay for housing in the mainland. I myself don't want to go to the mainland at all, as I don't see myself being compatible with the way of life, as it would be a big change. This is all really interesting. I have to say, I don't know much about Hawaii, but I would love to know more. It sounds, from this post, like it's a really different lifestyle and environment to the rest of the States. I said it would be a big change, but he then says that I can be a housewife up there and not deal with the outside. And yes, we have a kid in all of this. That's not quite how it works. I mean, if someone's saying to you environmentally it's going to be a big change, because right now I live on an island and I'm going to be moving to an area, whereas Texas is down and kind of middle. I don't think it has any, I guess it depends on where you are. Like if you're in the middle, you're quite far from any sea. It's very different to being an island. Like most of Texas is surrounded by more land. There's a little bit, right, that does have some sea, but I'm sure this doesn't at all mean that the culture is different. I just think it's very bold of a husband to be like, oh, well, you don't like Texas? Don't go outside. It's fine. We'll move you and you don't need to speak to anyone. You have a child, you have to eat, you're going to have to get groceries, especially if you're, being a homemaker, you're a housewife, you'll still need to interact with people. It doesn't mean that you are only indoors forever. Let's read on. I asked him that we could do long distance and he can come visit, but he said he doesn't want to come back just to visit me and his kid. I told him that I'd probably be very depressed up there and probably long for home, and that I'd like to be brought back when he's done with his career. He called me selfish to not think of his happiness and my daughter, and that she grew up without a father. I mean, you're saying that you're going to strip your daughter of all sense of culture, but also be like, oh, just so that I can do what I want to do, I'm going to make both of you unhappy and make sure that you only see the inside of a house. What? We don't do that. We don't do this. That's not compromise. I don't feel like either of you can just make the decision. You're saying I'm not happy about it. You're suggesting compromises. Hey, if you really want to do this, you go somewhere else. Also, I don't know how the military works in the States, but I know that in the UK, you can suggest and be like, hey, I would really like to be stationed in around this area, but you move to different countries and different parts of the country. You don't just stay in that one area all the time. So like right now you're saying Texas, it might not be Texas. And you're saying that it would be your wife's fault, OP's fault, for growing up without a father, but you're going to be in the military. It's not like you're going to be home all the time anyway, regardless of whether your wife stations herself in Texas or in Hawaii. This just sounds very weird to me. It sounds like there's no compromise being made. I definitely don't think that you are the drama for not wanting to go. Yeah, not the drama. My thinking was maybe this isn't everybody sucks here, because it also sounds like maybe in the same way that he's not compromising, you are also not compromising. It's difficult. How can you say like, I don't want to go, I want to be here, and he's going, I want to be there? What is the compromise to be made there? Unless it's long distance. Maybe there could be a situation where you could sort of do half-half, but there's funds involved in that. I don't know if some military funding would fund a part, and also that's a really unstable situation for a kid. And no, so you have provided the compromise already. I don't think that you are the drama. I think if there's something this incompatible, your husband's so passionate about not being there, you're so passionate about staying here, you both have your rights to be happy as individual people as well as being happy as a couple. And if those individual aims are being swarmed up by that couple requirement, you're just going to build resentment. Neither of you are going to be happy, and you're going to end up hating the other one for it. So it's a situation where, unfortunately, sometimes in relationships, we go in different directions. Ugh. This is a tricky one. But overall, like, just objectively speaking, someone who's not involved here, if you are that enshrined in culture, which it sounds like you are, I mean, I don't know the politics of Texas, and I need to be careful because I'm a brown LGBT person with pink hair married to a trans person. Like, I have a bias. I have a bias towards Texas politics. And I have to say, it's maybe like a little bit of a flag for me that someone's like, oh yes, the politics of Texas are way better than here. But objectively speaking, if your husband is going to be in the army anyway, he's not going to be home. You're not going to see him for great lengths of time. So surely you, the person being at home, should be where you feel most comfortable, and not where you're literally feeling like you're stuck within a house because you don't want to change your entire lifestyle. Not the drama. That is my absolute badge. Do other people agree? Not the drama. If your husband prefers the politics of Texas over Hawaii, you have bigger problems. I mean, I don't know. I don't know the politics of Hawaii. I know little about the politics of Texas, but from what I do know, it worries me, especially if OP is a person of colour. From what I've heard, is what I'm saying. And I guess it also depends on where in Texas you are, because like the concentrated city centers are very different, right? Where they're a lot more diverse. There's a lot of America. America's big, and there's a lot of suburbia. So yeah, there's also guns. Does Hawaii have guns? I don't know. If your husband prefers living in a state that matches their political views above their child, their marriage, and their family, then you have bigger problems. OP needs to point out to the husband that he's the one who'll be causing his daughter to be fatherless. Texas right now is a horrible place for a young girl to live, and someone says this is the biggest red flag. I wouldn't even raise a child or try to have kids in that state, especially if OP is presenting as a non-white person. Texas is dangerous. Well, there you go. Yeah, I'm going to stick with my conviction on that one, but appreciate that I don't know too much about the politics, so I'm not sure if I could say too much more. What do you think, Peaches? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you have things to share? Please get your juicy little butts downstairs and let me know. Just be kind as you do it. Maybe you want to give this video a thumbs up. Maybe you want to subscribe. A lot of people think that they're subscribed and they're not subscribed. And if you are subscribed, thank you so much. If you're not subscribed but you wouldn't mind subscribing, it's free. It just clicks a little button. It super duper helps me out. I really appreciate it. Meanwhile, though, I will love you and leave you. Be kind and have a great day. Bye.